So hello, hoskies, broskies, and my little bitchlings, hiya, hiya, hiya. So you've probably read the title, but I thought, why the heck should I be so sad while making this video? Today's video is supposed to kind of help you guys with something that you may be struggling with. Maybe it's the same thing I'm struggling with, which is seasonal depression. Yay! Finland is a nice place in that way that there's no sun all the time. Like 2/3 of the whole year we don't have the sun around. Which means that there's less skin cancer, but more crippling depression. Yay! Cool. So there's a reason why Finns usually have like seasonal depression, which means that when the amount of light in our kind of like home country drops during autumn time and it continues until the springtime, the darkness, that's when we experience more seasonal depression than other countries, and there's many theories on why that is. Usually people say it's because of the loss of light, because we don't have enough light, and as such we have the deficiency of vitamin D. And yes, I've cut my hair if somebody asked. Thank you very much. Anyway, I wanted to kind of give you guys my survival pack. How to survive seasonal depression or depressive episode in general. Note to you guys, if you guys have bipolar, which means that you are prone to depressive seasons, and then kind of like this hypomania or mania kind of periods, that this kind of things that I'm going to show you, my survival skills are not going to probably work for you. They might even trigger a mania, so just be aware of that shit. So yeah, haha. So first things first, I have had seasonal depression for about, what would I say, like 4 years at least, 5 years, and this is the 5th year of me noticing it's kicking in. So basically when I notice the first signs of it, which are usually me being more tired, me being more lethargic, me not getting as much done, me kind of neglecting hygiene, things like that, haha, depression club, wearing hats when you don't want to wash your hair, shit like that. That's when I kind of know that my depression is about to hit me again. So that's when I go into full battle. So first thing you want to do when your seasonal depression is kind of hitting you, you want to kind of like have a plan ready, okay? You need to fuck that shit up, you need to sucker punch that depression in the face, and I have certain things that I start doing. So mine usually kicks in the seasonal depression during the first periods of autumn or fall, and that's when I kind of start doing these things. So first things I start doing is basically I start taking vitamins, and for people who have seasonal depression, good vitamins include, but are not limited to, vitamin D and vitamin B. So this is a D vitamin. I take calcium plus D, and it's about 10 micrograms of the D vitamin. So this one doesn't have much. I take another one which has a little bit more in it. The recommended daily amount in Finland, I guess it's like 50 micrograms, so getting like even more would be a good thing. This is just more of a calcium. I have a D vitamin tablet too that I take, like another one, because like even having like 100 micrograms isn't a bad thing. And then I take B vitamins. So this one is the type that has like biotin and other B vitamins. So vitamin B and vitamin D have been shown to be very important in order to combat depression. So that's why I take those two. And vitamin D deficiency is very common on Finnish people and other people who experience the long dark winter time when we don't have the sun around, so that's why I take it too. Then the other thing I do usually is I take escitalopram, which is prescribed by my doctor, and escitalopram is a SSRI medication, so selective serotonin inhibitor, serotonin. Well, anyway, what it does, it basically prevents your brain from taking back serotonin, so it increases the serotonin levels in your brain, and serotonin is the feel-good hormone, basically, not hormone, I'm sorry, like the chemical, feel-good chemical in your brain, and it has been shown to have good results like SSRIs, especially escitalopram. So I take that, and I have a kind of like prescription from my doctor to double my intake if it doesn't work. So usually during autumn or fall time, I usually up my medication a little bit. I up it to 10 milligrams a day. It's usually 5 milligrams a day, so I slowly build it up to 10 milligrams if I have to. And then the fourth thing I use, because for me, when I'm depressed, I don't get sleep. I sleep during the day, and during nighttime I have sleeplessness, so insomnia. So I treat my insomnia with melatonin, which is basically almost like this kind of it's very harmless kind of like sleep medication thing. So that's what I do also. Cool. So that's all about my medication and vitamins and things like that I use to combat my depression, seasonal depression. And then let's go to the other things. One of the first things I always start when it gets darker is I get my bad boys out. This is a depression lamp. I have 3 of these because I'm crazy. No, because these shits actually work. Prepare to be blinded, because this shit is bright, as you can see. I'm not gonna blind you anymore, but like, as you can see, it's pretty darn good. Actually, the lighting you can see coming from there is also from one of my depression lamps, and I start using these when the light gets a little bit less in Finland. So I use one. This one that I showed you is on my kitchen table, and the other one is in my living room. And I use the kitchen table one while I drink my coffee in the mornings for half an hour, and I bathe in the light. And that's what helps your circadian rhythm to stay normal, and that cures depression and cures especially seasonal depression. So light actually helps with seasonal depression, and these are over 1,000 lumen lamps, which actually means that they are like little suns basically in my room. So and also I have to say that it's very good as a makeup light too. So like when I do my makeup, I do it with this on, and I drink my coffee in the morning, and then when I come home from work I take another half an hour in this kind of light. And this is like my favorite thing. If I would have to like take one of my seasonal depression helps that I use, I would have the daylight power or depression lamps, because these actually work for me. And I have to say that this has been like the biggest help in my depression, at least. So I start using these twice a day for half an hour, and that usually helps me kind of like sleep better and get up faster in the morning, kind of get that groggy feeling off and lessen my sleep patterns, because usually when I get depressed my sleep increases from 8 hours to 12 hours, and that's not healthy. So I try to keep it at a normal level. Then the other thing that I don't want to do but I always do is I increase my activity, and the reason is that basically exercise has been shown to be as good as a kind of like depression treatment as SSRIs. It's as effective. So what I do usually, because when I'm depressed I don't want to do anything, okay? Let's get that out of the way. I feel so lethargic, so sad all the time, that I don't want to really do anything. But what I do is usually when I go to work, for example, I bike in a faster way, so that I get like a little bit of heart rate up, which helps me get endorphins going on. So even that, like using that as my daily exercise or exercising for 10 minutes during the day, usually helps me. I also increase my meditation, and the way I do it, because when I'm depressed I don't want to get out of the bed, so usually I meditate in a shavasana, which means that I'm laying on my back, and I meditate there in my bed, so I don't have to leave my bed and I can do something productive while there. So that's what I do also. I also increase the time when I'm out of my house, because I usually want to stay inside my house when I'm depressed, but it makes me even more depressed. So it's not good for me, so I make sure that I have some hobby once a week. Because that's a good amount for me as a depressed person. Usually when I have one hobby, even at that time, like that's all I can do. Usually my productivity levels drop down when I'm depressed, and I will prioritize everything, okay? I will make a list out of things that I have to do, and those will have 3 stars in them, marked 3 stars. Then I have the things that are good for me, for example the hobbies or like painting or meditating, and those will have 2 stars in them. And then I have the 1-star things, which are like things that I should do in the next week, for example, and those I cut out completely. 1-star things I don't do when I'm depressed, okay? I do them after I get off from my depression, because when you're depressed you need to learn to prioritize, because your energy is not going to be long term enough so you can do all of the things. I also lessen my time on doing my makeup. This is the first time I did my makeup in 2 weeks, okay guys? I try to take care of the normal things first. So the 3-star things are usually food. I try to kind of like eat normally, because sometimes I don't feel like eating when I'm depressed, but I still try to force myself to eat. Sleep, and basically like human contact. So those are my like have to do things basically to survive, and taking my medications and things like that. Those are 3-star things, and paying the bills. Those are like the 3-star things, and everything else is a plus. Like when I'm depressed, all of the to-do lists that I have, everything is a plus. Every time I even get to do like one thing, I congratulate myself, because when you are depressed, like everything is a plus that you do. You don't have to do anything. Don't put a huge fucking list that'll like just make you feel powerless. Congratulate yourself for every little thing that you've kind of like managed to do, and don't compare yourself to people who don't have depression, because you are not a normal person. I'm sorry, but you don't have to be a normal person, and you don't have to try to achieve the same things as normal people do. And one of the hardest things for me to understand in the recovery of depression and like treating my seasonal depression is that me has to come first, okay, when I'm treating my depression. So my hobbies that I put my energy in will turn into more energy for me when I'm having depression. So you can't let those go, okay? Don't let the things go that you really love and that make you feel good, because those will end up like helping with the rehabilitating you and helping with the depression so you can get through it, okay? So basically, every time I get this seasonal depression, every day is like having a battle with it. So in the morning I get up and I have a game plan, okay? It's like me going into a ring and having a match with a boxer. Like my depression is another boxer and I'm ready to take that bitch out. So that's how I try to deal with it. Like normal people don't have to box every day, but I have to box every day when I have a depression going on. And the other thing is I usually tell people about it very honestly. I tell my boyfriend, hey, my depression is kicking in, I won't be able to do as much as normally, I will be trying to focus on getting better. I will lessen my YouTube video scheduling because it helps me too, and I will just kind of like go into this take care of yourself first mode, basically. What are you doing, okay, kitty? What the fuck? I will also keep petting my cat, so anything that will help you, okay, guys? And I really do recommend you having like this kind of important tasks type of thing, and everything else is just a plus if you are able to do them, and taking care of yourself and paying your bills is like the first few things, and then after that everything is like a plus, okay? And my depression is sometimes severe, but at this moment it's mild. Kitties! And the thing is, you need to kind of like spring into action the minute you see the kind of first signs of your depression coming up, because that's when you can kind of like do something about it and actually get on top of it before it kind of gets on top of you, okay? So basically just telling you guys, I'm dealing with this at this moment, so you will be getting less videos, but I hope the content will anyway please you. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go eat now, because I need to take care of that shit too and bathe in the light, so yeah. Remember to be the light. Oh, so beautiful, amazing. I will come back to talk to you guys about like spiritual shit when I have the time and energy to do it. Sambu, kitty! They're so cute, they wanna play, so I'm gonna go play with them. It's gonna make me happier too, and like get rid of my depression a little bit more. So yeah, bye bitchlings!